That's a couple crazy things I want to say. Okay, I want to crash out for 1 second. This is a small problem in the grand scheme of the many things we have going on in America.
Iran, Israel's a small problem?
No, what I'm about to say is what I'm about to say is a small problem. But it is consistently annoying that week after week, I just see proof of someone in government pre-buying an event in the stock market. Many representatives literally buying military stocks right before we bomb Iran. It's just so deeply demoralizing to me that we have open, it's not even like no one cares anymore. There's open insider trading every week, and it is starting to like,
what's the point of getting into politics if you can't do that?
if you can't wet your beak a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I stand behind Eric. Is that you can't let one man fall. If one man falls for corruption, the rest will start falling.
You're right. What a world.
And
that
if
would
I
be.
don't stand for Eric now, they'll come for Pelosi later. And
They'll come for that
God forbid.
If we don't stand for our corrupt politicians, who's going to speak for the podcast host, dude?
First, they came for my corrupt politicians, and I did not speak out.
Yeah. Then they came for the BetterHelp ads we're going to be doing. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it frustrating.
I think there's just not the ability to focus on the issue. There's no one can maintain it in the political mind of people. It's not at the forefront of the list of things that people are experiencing. And then the people who have to affect the change are the people who benefit from the existing system the most. So they're not going to be like, I should really start working on this.
I'll get it right on it. Wink. That's your open Robinhood and buy.
Yeah.
And there's no way to make it sexy enough to get a lot of people to care about it for a long time.
It's crazy because if you ask normal people on the street, regardless of their political affiliation, if you should be able to buy stocks based off of government inside information, no one says yeah. No one. I've never met a guy who's like, yeah, I think this is
Yeah, so that sucks. And then, was there anything else on this I want to say? I mean, that's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, two quick points that are definitive that came out of this. There's an interesting fracture on the right as a result of this. So like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is somewhat respectfully to MTG stands out there, bit of a lunatic, but she is like highly critical.
We have a ton of MTG stands in our audience.
Yeah.
That's 60, 70% of our audience.
It's a big Venn diagram between the Zoran stands and the MTG stands. She is like, was really openly critical of this. What's fun about Twitter now is I just get blasted with right-wing people and I don't follow them. But anyway, so I've been seeing a bunch of her tweets and she's super critical. It's basically like, this is not what we voted for. We don't want war. A lot of people on the right saying like, this is, you know, Trump advocated, say he's the peacemaker. He's not going to get us into a war. And he just bombed another country in the Middle East. So that's one interesting element is the right is pretty fractured over this. And also AOC is one of a number of Democrats saying that Trump bombing Iran is basically a constitutional violation and is worthy of impeachment because, as a reminder, we're supposed to have Congress declare when we're going to war with people. You're not supposed to have the president just go bomb whoever he wants. That's not how the country works.
This is an actual question. President, commander-in-chief, you're in charge of the military, you're able to like make decisions the whole way down, right? Mm-hmm. Is the idea here that because his action is basically equivalent to a formal declaration of war, which is something that Congress does have to do, he's breaking
that is AOC's
Trump
argument.
broke a rule? A government procedural rule?
I know.
Yeah, I saw this.
Oh, he's done for.
I saw
this will
tweet,
get him.
which I liked, which is not sure what Congress's role is at this point, which is a
Old
good.
Donnie T's run out of rope on this one.
So that's the interesting thing because we've had every previous Democratic president has authorized strikes on a bunch of Middle Eastern countries. Obama did it, Biden did it, Clinton did it. I believe Clinton did it. And then I saw a clip of literally Nancy Pelosi saying, when asked explicitly by press, she's like, no, the president, Obama does not need congressional approval to authorize the strikes. And I believe that was for Syria.
So that's actually what I did think is like for things like strikes. And I know this sounds, I don't know if it should be like this, but from the perspective of precedent, haven't our presidents made decisions like this all the time? The Iraq war, for example, Congress had to vote on us invading, boots on the ground. They may have voted for it for questionable, reasons, but
we'll find those WMDs.
They voted for it at the time, and that's when we did it. But as far as single strikes go or strikes go in general, I'm not saying that this isn't wrong. It's more this feels like it happens all the time.
That's the question. So you have people like AOC saying this is an impeachable offense. You have people on the right and left going, come on, this is exactly what all the presidents have been doing. So I think it's a bigger question of like, should presidents be allowed to do this? My intuition is certainly no. Doesn't seem that chill, to be honest. That not super democratic. But we did elect the president. I don't know, man. It's I can look into this more in a future episode.
I have a link, Perry. I wonder if you could bring up, and I want to just walk through what I think sort of Trump is dealing with here. You mentioned this with the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff, but this is proving to be remarkably unpopular. He is polling at January 6th levels following this Iran stuff because he ran on a policy of America first, no intervention. Let's stop focusing on the Middle East. Let's get everyone out. Let's just focus on us.
That was one of his strongest differentiating points between other people, was him saying, I'm the only president during my term.
Dude, it's the reason Tulsi Gabbard has a job. It's the reason former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard has a job because of her anti-war position that she sold into the Republican establishment. And now she has the role she does.
Anyway, it's proving unpopular. And that's why I think if you walk through the actual step-by-step of what happened, so Trump bombs Iran, says it's only, I think Vance comes out and says, we're not at war with Iran. We're only at war with their nuclear facilities. Okay? We're just going to do this and get out.
That's so sick.
Which is a crazy statement.
That's so funny.
But then, right afterwards, Trump tweets, it's not politically correct term, regime change, but it's the right thing to do. And so it's like, is it not about nuclear facilities? It's about overall regime change in Iran. But then immediately backtracked and then immediately goes, this is over, ceasefire. Because I think Trump, for his many faults, he's very good at reading the room of his base. That is he's very like a political animal with the core people that keep him in power. And I think he was able to quickly intuit this was not overall popular. This is negative for the core chunk of the country that keeps him solid and in power. And so he is about face on this. That's why he's yelling at Israel now. He's yelling at Iran too, but also Israel. He's like, no war, we're out, ceasefire. And I think he's just reading the room that this is not playing the way he might have thought it was. And I don't have the graph in front of me, but I saw a graph of American approval for each Middle East strike, major intervention over the past 20 years. And it was like Afghanistan 2003, 98% approval. Like most Americans were like, fuck yeah, let's go. I'm sorry, it was Iraq first. Then Afghanistan, it's like 72. Then it was Syria, and it's like, 54, barely. And now for this Iran stuff, it's like 28. Like most Americans are just they don't want this. This is not this is not an escalation they want to see. They've been down this road. They know it. No matter what you say on timelines and escalation, it just somehow ends up with more money and troops and time shoveled into an endless, I keep reusing this word, but quagmire. So I don't know. That's what I think people are broadly feeling across both spectrums of the political establishment in America. And I think he's reading that. Whether or not he can stick to that is a different question. Or whether he has a choice. Things could be out of his hand now. Once you bomb a country, they have different incentives now. And they might accelerate towards nuclear, even if they weren't before, or if they weren't really progressive. Like things are going to be different. It's a fog of war. We don't know what's going to happen. But
anything else for you guys? We're getting